Good evening, students. Once more, we will discuss the summary 1984 1984 by George Orwell. So, let us see what's the summary. In the future world of 1984, the world is divided up into three super states. Very nicely, actually, this summary is very nicely explained. So, I would even refer you to read this summary. Very nicely, they have they have presented, described, right? So, here the world is world divided up into three super states. What are they? Oceania, Eurasia, and East Asia. Just keep in mind when you discuss the summary. Okay. So now super states are there: Oceania, Eurasia, East Asia. Three that are deadlocked in a permanent war, right? So that's a permanent war, and they are deadlocked, right? So these are the superpowers, we can say. The superpowers are so evenly matched that a decisive victory is impossible. But the real reason for the war is to keep their economies productive without adding to the wealth of their citizens. So, what they say that the superpowers are so evenly matched that a decisive victory is impossible, but the real reason for the war is to keep their economies productive without adding the wealth of their citizens who live with the exception of privileged few in a state of fear and poverty. Now, Oceania made up of English speaking nation. Important. What's the Oceania? Where English speaking nation, English speakers uh, are lived, and then is ruled by group known simply as the party, a despotic oligarchical collective that is ideologically very similar to regime in power in the other two superstates. So Shania is made up of English speakers, right, and is ruled by known group known by the group, right, known by the group, right, known by the group known simply as the party. So that's a there is a group which with name is dystopic party. That's a party, and dystopic oligarchical collective that is ideologically very similar to the regimes in power in the other two superstates, though each claims that their system is superior to others. Means all these three superstates, Oceania, East Asia, and Eurasia, they each claims that their system is superior to others. So their system is the best system. Okay. The inner party, whose members make up 2% of population, effectively govern, while the outer party, whose members about 33% of the population, unquestionably carry out their orders. The remaining 85% of population are Poles, who are largely ignored because they are judged intellectually incapable of organized revolt. So that's a inner party, outer party, right? The inner party, whose members make up 2% of population. So inner party just 2% of population, and then effectively govern. they effectively govern, while outer party, whose members whose number about 13% of the population, unquestioningly carry out their orders. The remaining 85% of the people are Poles, who are largely ignored because they are judged intellectually incapable of organized revolt. So then 85% people are, suppose that they are incapable, right? In intelligently incapable, that is why. So they are not deserving or intelligently incapable. Okay. Now, in order to maintain its power, the party keeps its citizen under constant surveillance, monitoring even their thoughts. Very important, even their thoughts. And right, so party, right, in order to maintain its power, the party keeps its citizen, right, under their supervision, and then arresting and vaporizing individuals if they show signs of discontent or non-conformity. So then even thoughts are operated by the party, and they find that arresting vaporization individuals if they show signs of discontent or non-conformity, which is being checked by the party. Now the party figure head is Big Brother. Very important. Who is the head of the party? Big Brother. Okay. Whose mustachioed face is displayed on posters and coins. So that somewhat you can imagine, that's a somewhat this way. Yeah, he is the big brother. Big brother. Okay. This is the mustachio. Yeah, this is somewhat. So that's a displayed on the posters and coin, towards whom every citizen is compelled to feel love and allegiance, right? And then loyal, organized hate rallies keep patriotism at a fever pitch. So see, organize hates rallies. So this party organize hate rallies. Why? To keep patriotism at a fever pitch, right? And public executions of prisoners of war increase support for the regime and for the war itself. Now, hero comes. Winston Smith, a quiet, frail outer party member. He is outer party member. Winston Smith, outer, lives alone in one room flat in a squalid apartment complex called Victory Mansions. Apartment's name is Victory Mansions. Now is disturbed by parties' willingness to alter history. Why he is dissatisfied? Because parties to all parties' work is to alter history in order to present its regime as infallible and just. A gifted writer whose job at the Ministry of Truth. So he works in the which department? Ministry of Truth, right? Is to rewrite news articles in order to make them comply with party ideology. Means everyone has to comply with party's ideology, and he writes. Now Winston begins keeping a diary and actively which is not illegal since there are no laws in Oceania. So, however, this is actually not allowed, but Winston begins keeping a diary. Diary was not allowed, but still Winston used to keep an activity which is not illegal, right? Which is not illegal. So, which is legal, right? Transmit and receive sounds and image. Sorry, since there are no laws in Oceania, but which he knows is punishable by death. Winston Smith knows that if he keeps diary, it is punishable even by death. Since every room is outfitted with a telescreen, now camera, but then telescreen that can both transmit and receive sounds and images. So this screen transmit or receive, right? Transmit and receive, right? That is sounds and images. Sounds and images, everything. Winston must be extremely careful to disguise his subversive activities. He imagines he is writing the diary to O'Brien, next character. O'Brien, a charismatic inner party bureaucratic, whom Winston believes is a member of fabled underground counter revolutionary organization known as the Brotherhood. So till now Winston thinks that he is Winston works in outer party. This man works in inner party, but Winston thinks that he is the person whom Winston can share his personal feelings. Now, Winston is also writing in order to stay sane because the party controls reality to the extent of requiring its subject to deny the evidence of their own senses, a practice known as doublethink. So, what Winston is also writing in order to stay sane because Winston feels sometimes he becomes frustrated. So, he feels that if I write something, so that will be feeling which should be released. So, for keeping himself sane, he used to write because the party controls reality to the extent of requiring its subject to deny the evidence of their own senses, a practice known as double think. So that uh, Winston first write because of his uh, pent up feelings. So that he thinks that my pent up feelings will be released, and then controls reality the extent of requiring its subject to deny the evidence of their own senses. A practical practice known as double think means whatever you are doing, just think again and again. And Winston knows of no one else who shares his feelings of loathing and outrage. He knows that this is actually the matter of great heart, then it needs dare, too much dare. And that is why Winston was aware, and Winston was thinking that I may be punished, but then he takes risk. Now, one day at work, a dark haired girl whom Winston mistakenly suspects of being a spy for the thought police. That's the thought police. So Winston sees Julius, and then he thinks that she is the spy for the thought police in the beginning in organization, and hurts out and punishes unorthodox thinking known as thought crime. So he hurts and then slips him a note that I love you. So now Winston, that an organization that hunts out and punishes out unorthodox thinking, known as thought crime, slips him a note that says, I love you. But on the contrary, she is not that kind of girl. She is just like Winston. And then he's thinking negative for Julia, but Julia just slips a note in which I love you is written. At first, Winston is terrified. In Oceania, individual relationships are prohibited and sexual desire forbidden even to married couple. So then you uh, don't talk, don't have sexual desire and all, and it's a forbidden to even for married couple. Now, however, he finds the courage to talk the girl whose name is Julia. So third character, first Winston, second O'Brien, third Julia, and they begin an illicit love affair, but that is illicit because of government. Meeting first in the countryside, then in the crowded streets, and then regularly in a room without telescreen. So this room is without telescreen above the second-hand store where Winston bought his diary. So from where he bought his diary, and he talks and they start meeting about the store. There is a one room, so they used to meet in that store. Now the proprietor, who is the proprietor of the shop? Mr. Charrington. Next character, Mr. Charrington sees trustworthy, and Winston believes that he too is an ally because of his apartment respect for the past, a past that party has tried hard to eradicate by altering and destroying historical records in order to make sure that the people of Oceania never realize that they are actually worse off than their ancestors. So it should not be realized by Oceania people that they are actually worse off than their ancestors. That's why history is being taught, being changed, distorted by the people who believed before the revolution. So they should not know that their life is worse than previous people, and that is why they are distorting history. Now, meanwhile, the lovers are being led into a trap, but they meet, but one day they are into a trap. O'Brien, who is actually loyal to party, dupes them into believing he is counter revolutionary. So O'Brien, whom Winston thinks that loyal to party, dupes them into believing he is counter revolutionary and leaves them a book that was supposedly written by exiled Emmanuel Goldstein. He is exiled now, right? Out of the country. A former party leader who has been denounced as a traitor, and which O'Brien says will intimidate them into brotherhood. So then Winston thinks that O'Brien has the same feeling like brotherhood group. One night, the lovers are arrested in their hiding place with incriminating book in their possession, and they learn that Mr. Charrington has all along been a member of Thought Police. So Mr. Charrington, whom they believe he is the member of Thought Police. Now, Winston and Julia are tortured and brainwashed of by O'Brien, The Ministry of Love. All ministries are like this. So that's a ministry of love where Winston and Julia are tortured and brainwashed by O'Brien. He tortured them like anything. During the torture, the dreaded room, just remember room number 101, Winston and Julia betray one another and in the process lose their self respect, individuality, and sexual desire. They forget all these things, they don't respect each other, and they are then released separately to live out their broken lives as loyal party member. In this condition they are free, and then they will never meet each other and no sexual desire and nothing else. In the closing scene, Winston, whose experiences have turned him into an alcoholic, gazes accordingly, ador- adoringly, right? So, Winston, whose experiences have turned him into an alcoholic, gazes adoringly at the portrait of Big Brother, whom he has at last learned to love. So he start loving Big Brother, whom he never had seen, but then his mindset is totally changed, and now he starts saying that two twos are not four, but two. 2 plus 2 is 5, right? This way. So this is the story. Tomorrow I'll speak in Hindi. Thank you so much. Bye.